Most people think happiness comes from having less problems.
That belief is wrong. Happiness often comes from learning how to laugh while carrying your heaviest burden.
Let me tell you a simple story that lifts your spirit. Once upon a time, in a quiet rural village tucked between rolling hills and dusty roads, there lived an old monk named Master Elias.
He wasn't famous for wealth. He wasn't powerful. But people traveled miles just to hear him speak because he smiled like someone who understood life deeply.
And if simple stories like this speak to you, consider subscribing.
One afternoon, a young man named Sam arrived at the monastery.
Ambitious, serious, his mind was full of questions about success, pressure, and purpose. "Master," Sam said, "I want to learn the secret to happiness and success. Please teach me." Master Elias looked at him, paused, then smiled. "Very well," he said, "but first you must complete a simple task." Sam leaned in. "Go to the market," the master continued, "buy the largest, juiciest watermelon you can find. Then place it on your head and walk through the village without dropping it." Sam was confused, but determined. He found the biggest watermelon in the market, heavy, awkward, slippery. He balanced it on his head and began to walk. Every step required focus. Every breath mattered. Villagers noticed him. They laughed, they pointed, some clapped, some made funny faces trying to distract him. Sam ignored them all. Finally, after a long, uncomfortable walk, he reached the monastery. The watermelon was still intact. Relieved, Sam looked at Master Elias, expecting praise. Instead, the master burst into laughter, laughing so hard he had to wipe tears from his eyes. "My boy," he said, "that was the lesson." Sam stared, confused. "Life," the master explained, "is just like that watermelon, heavy, unstable, full of unexpected bumps. If you take it too seriously, it crushes you. But if you carry it with focus and a sense of humor, you make it through." Sam laughed too. If you've ever felt this pressure, type 1 below. It gives me motivation to keep sharing stories like this. And from that day on, whenever life felt overwhelming, he remembered the watermelon and smiled. Because sometimes the most powerful life lessons through stories are not about working harder, but about carrying life lighter. And that is why I believe in life lessons through stories, simple stories that remind us not to take ourselves too seriously.
Part 2. Deeper analysis.
What makes this story powerful is not the watermelon. It's the way we recognize ourselves in Sam. Perspective 1. Pressure doesn't come from weight, it comes from resistance. Most adults between 25 and 50 aren't struggling because life is too hard. They struggle because they believe it shouldn't be this hard. Think about Warren Buffett. He didn't become wealthy by rushing. He became wealthy by staying calm while others panicked. Market crashes were his watermelons. He didn't drop them. He didn't dramatize them. He carried them with patience and a quiet smile. The monk wasn't teaching Sam how to avoid difficulty. He was teaching him how not to fight it. Perspective 2. Humor is not weakness, it's a strategy. We often associate seriousness with intelligence and success, but look closer at the people who last the longest. Jeff Bezos once said that stress comes from ignoring things you know you should do. But notice something else about him. He laughs easily. He experiments. He treats failure like feedback, not identity. Humor creates distance between you and the problem. Distance gives you control, and control is what turns pressure into progress. This is why the villagers laughing didn't break Sam. They sharpened him. Perspective 3. Success favors those who stay light under load. Many capable people burn out not because they lack skill, but because they carry life with clenched fists. They grip too hard. They internalize every setback. The story reminds us that wealth, growth, and fulfillment are not built by people who avoid hardship, but by those who learn to move through it without losing themselves. That's the quiet power of life lessons through stories. They don't shout instructions, they slip insights into your mind when you're not resisting. And if there's one thing this story whispers, it's this: you don't need to take life less seriously. You need to take yourself less seriously. That mindset alone has quietly changed fortunes, careers, and lives. And that's why life lessons through stories stay with us long after the video ends.
Part 3. Lessons and Practical Takeaways.
Here's where the story quietly turns practical. Because the real question is not whether life will put a watermelon on your head. It will. The question is how you carry it when no one is cheering and everyone seems to be watching. Lesson 1. Stop confusing heaviness with importance. Many people believe that if they feel stressed, overwhelmed, or exhausted, it must mean they're doing something meaningful. But that belief is dangerous. Look at Charlie Munger. He built enormous wealth by avoiding unnecessary complexity. He simplified decisions. He reduced emotional noise. He understood that progress doesn't require suffering, it requires clarity. If your daily grind feels unbearably heavy, ask yourself, is this truly important, or am I just carrying it wrong? Lesson 2. Skill grows faster when ego stays light. When Sam walked through the village, people laughed. In real life, that laughter looks like criticism, rejection, low views, slow growth. Elon Musk has been publicly wrong more times than most people are willing to admit privately. Yet he keeps moving. Why? Because he doesn't let embarrassment decide his direction. When you learn to smile at mistakes, you shorten the distance between failure and mastery. That's not motivation, that's leverage. Lesson 3. Wealth is built by emotional endurance, not constant intensity. Burnout is rarely caused by hard work. It's caused by taking every moment personally. People who build lasting success know how to step back mentally while still moving forward physically. They pace themselves. They recover quickly. They don't drop the watermelon just because their neck gets tired. This is why life lessons through stories matter more than advice. Stories bypass resistance. They change behavior quietly, without forcing belief. So here's a simple takeaway you can actually use this week. When something feels overwhelming, don't ask, how do I get rid of this? Ask, how can I carry it lighter? A small smile, a wider perspective, a little humor. Those are not soft skills. They are survival skills for growth. And if today feels heavy, remember this: you're not failing. You're just learning how to balance. That's the final gift of life lessons through stories. They don't tell you what to do. They remind you who you can become.